Hi class, this is Lauren Jennings and I am in the positive group for week 3 discussion 2. The first question asks, what are the sources of power often seen in an organization? There are several different types of powers that are used in an organization. Coerced power basically states that a threat, whether it be a real or perceived one, of punishment is used towards somebody if they don't comply with instructions, and that also can be actual or perceived. An example of that might be a nurse manager or someone in a managerial position basically using their power to threaten, again, real or perceived, the staff into complying with the way they want their unit to be run. The next source of power is called legitimate power. Basically, that involves any type of social rank or culture as the driving force to have someone conform. An example of that would be the textbook used a doctor giving a nurse orders on something that she's supposed to do, telling her that he might reprimand her for that, and he knows that she will conform because culturally she has to listen to a man in that type of a position. Referent power basically describes using a person's charisma as the driving agent to cause an effect on the person. An example of this, and again was used in the textbook, basically the nurse has heard very highly of, let's say, a surgeon, for example, and everyone speaks very highly of him. He's very well respected and well known. And she has to conform because of that, because of the other staff and the other nurses doing the same as well. Expert power as a source of power basically states that knowledge is used as the driving agent of force. And this would be somebody who has an advanced degree, and the people underneath that person would know that they, have higher credentials and are have much more experience and much more training, and that could be used to have them conform and do things that person wanted them to. Reward power is the final source of power, and basically that just states that there would be some type of reward or an incentive received for doing a certain type of behavior, or that person expecting a reward for a certain type of a behavior. So the second question asks, what are the positive impacts on an organization? So basically, some of the positive impacts based on these sources of power could be creating a motivating environment that promotes healthy competition among colleagues. It also could be used to help motivate people who might be considered underachieving or underproducing, and hopefully maybe it could help them increase their productivity at work also. The next question asks, give examples and or personal experiences regarding positive impacts. An example I have is regarding reward power. At one point, when I was a staff nurse, they were just implementing barcode scanning of medications on the nursing unit I was working on. Initially, compliance was low. There were a lot of errors. There was a lot of things and kinks that needed to be worked out. But it also was the nurses being used to a certain routine and a specific way of doing things when they were passing out medications. And it took us much longer to scan the medications and go through that process than it did to just do it the old way like we had done years before. So a lot of us were going around the barcode scanning. Every month, the nurse manager would receive reports on the scanning compliance, and it was ranked from highest to lowest on the unit with every staff member's name. And in order to increase compliance, she would hang up the statistics in the break room for everyone to see. So it created almost a healthy competition because nobody wanted to be the last person on there. Everybody in the entire unit saw your name. And what she did was, if you were consistent and you were over a certain percentage or you increased your scanning percentage from month to month, she offered coffee coupons where you could get free coffee or free snack from the cafeteria. And that we felt was a good reward. Also, it created a lot of healthy competition, and most of us were at a 90 or 95 compliance or better at the end when they stopped keeping track of it. So that's an example of using sources of power in the form of rewards.